If you're even thinking about retiring in Georgetown, Texas, you're already ahead of most people. But the fastest way to ruin that dream is to buy a perfect retirement home in the wrong part of town. What most people don't find out until after they've moved here is that Georgetown, Texas can feel like two completely different retirement towns, depending on where you land. So in this video, I'm going to share the truth about Sun City versus other 55-plus communities and even non-age restricted neighborhoods, and why the obvious choice isn't always the best fit. I'm Stuart Sutton, a full-time real estate broker in Georgetown, Texas, real estate specialist. So instead of giving you a sales pitch, I'm going to walk you through what retiring in Georgetown really looks like, starting with the biggest assumptions that cause new retirees the most regret. And then we're going to actually go to the map and show exactly what is where and where you may or may not want to be. Part 1, the big assumptions that could sink your retirement move. After we go through these assumptions, we'll jump on the map. Many buyers assume that choosing a 55-plus community means you've nailed it. But what gets overlooked is that the 55-plus label doesn't automatically mean low taxes, minimal maintenance, and an ideal location for your future. Healthcare, lifestyle, all those type of needs. Acreage homes and gated communities, they sound dreamy, but they often come with higher purchase prices, higher upkeep, and a longer commute to the services you need continually. And some people assume that simply being near a major city like Georgetown is to Austin, Texas, solves everything. In reality, the growth, traffic, tax changes, and development can change what you feel in this area in 5 to 10 years. Yes, Georgetown has a reputation as a strong retirement destination, because it is, but it's also growing rapidly, which means price and tax pressures are rising. You'll want to think ahead about where you'll be in the next 10, 15 years or more, not just the next few years. Key questions you should ask before you commit: is a neighborhood built for your stage of life? Not just right now, but in the future. In other words, healthcare access, walkability, future resale. Is the growth trend of this area aligned with your lifestyle? Quiet, low density, nature oriented, or are you going to end up in a busy suburbia? So here's why working with me makes a difference. I specialize in Georgetown, Texas real estate, but in the lifestyle it offers. Small acreage, 55 plus. The areas differ, and I can show exactly how they differ. I've seen buyers pick the house they love only to realize later that the neighborhood or even the tax was wrong for their retirement years. I can walk you through not just what you can buy today, but what's going to make sense for you in the next 5, 10, 15 years and beyond. So now that we've discussed those assumptions and cleared them up a little bit, let's set the groundwork and zoom out, look at how the landscape of the region is laid out on the map. We're going to show you specifically subareas, highways, travel patterns, so you can see where you might want to end up and how it might fit you the best. So I'm going to start with the really big picture on the map, and that is, where's Georgetown, Texas? Within Texas. Well, it's a really nice location for Georgetown, Texas. You are literally just half an hour from Austin, Texas. You are 2.5 to 3 hours from Fort Worth and Dallas. You're an hour from Waco, Texas. You're 2.5 to 3 hours from Houston, Texas. Now you might be thinking, really? Those are kind of long drives. Well, in Texas, they're not. They're typically pretty easy drives, and 2.5, 3 hours is really not much as far as driving within the state of Texas. San Antonio is right at 2 hours or less. Now, I've taken these drives many times, and all the times I quoted to you are very accurate. Now, the cool thing is Georgetown is also within easy driving to a lot of day trips or overnight trips. Fredericksburg and Kerrville are very popular. New Braunfels for taking the kids tubing. Lockhart for barbecue. Oh, fantastic barbecue. There's quite a few places like that around Central Texas, though. Now we're going to move it a little closer. Georgetown, and we're going to call this downtown, which it is. That's why we're calling it downtown. There are 3 north-south corridors. Interstate 35 is the most well-known because it is interstate. It literally goes across several states up north. We've got 130, which actually just hits over here on I-35 and ends on the north, but it goes all the way down San Antonio and past to the south. And then we've got Highway 183, which goes north to Lampasas and south into Austin and beyond South Austin. So the corridors across Georgetown are Highway 29, which runs right alongside downtown, goes downtown and then west over to Liberty Hill. And we have Leander Highway, which goes to, guess where? Leander. And it ends at I-35 as well and heads right over to Leander. And then the one with probably the most traffic is Williams Drive. Now, Williams Drive, the number is Ranch Road 2338. So it runs from Interstate 35 and continues all the way out past, this is called Ronald Reagan Boulevard. Continues past that and beyond. You can see it kind of curves over here. I don't think it's called Williams Drive anymore out here. But those are the three biggest east-west traffic patterns that we're going to deal with as we navigate Georgetown, Texas. Now, I'm going to identify the three rings of Georgetown, if you will. And we'll go into more detail in a few minutes on the video. But Georgetown, Texas has really three rings. This is the downtown area, and it is, of course, quite famous. Georgetown obviously was a lovely, lazy little town with just beautiful scenery, and it was quaint and had this gorgeous downtown square, and it has come alive. So the downtown area is here, Southwestern University just east of that. So the first circle, with downtown being really kind of the center point. So you can see that this loop continues, but it doesn't really continue to the west of I-35. But I'm going to follow sort of an arc around that and continue over here and say this is really kind of the inner circle of Georgetown, okay? So what do we have here? Well, we have the historic area. You can buy a home in the historic area, remodeled beautifully in the, well below 5, even to 400,000. But they do really go up well above $1 million for some beautifully remodeled historic homes. You also have homes built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And a lot of those are being remodeled as well. As a matter of fact, those are getting a nice price per square foot. You can buy one that is severely outdated and remodel it yourself. That's the biggest bang for your buck. But a lot of these homes are being remodeled by professionals and put on the market and sold at really premium prices. And that's in areas like Oak Crest, Riverside, Country Club Acres, Williams Edition. But within this inner circle, which is unusual, you also have master plan community, because Wolf Ranch was built within this circle, and that's why it is so popular, or one of the reasons it's so popular. Wolf Ranch is a big master plan community, 16 miles of trails, 3 amenity centers, 3 pools, very, very popular and very well known. Of course, you can see right in the thick of things is a super HEB, a Walmart super center, lots of restaurants in here on both sides of the interstate. But what's cool is you also have small acreage property within the inner circle. There are several of them. Oak Crest Ranchettes has 1 to 5 acre properties. There's a luxury 1 acre plus neighborhood called River Chase, which has beautiful homes. And Golden Oaks is right by the airport, and that has started to become an issue with some of the people who live in Golden Oaks, but we'll talk about that on another video. So the inner circle consists of all the housing types, the historic homes, the ranch-style homes built in the 70s that are being remodeled, the master plan community, homes are only a few years old, new and modern, homes on small acreage, and you may have noticed I didn't mention 55 plus, but 55 plus is in here as well. As a matter of fact, there are 3 small 55 plus neighborhoods within here. We have what's called Texas Traditions right here. We have Village at River Bend, a small boutique community here. So the inner circle has all the housing types available. So let's look at the second ring. Let's go just beyond the inner ring, and you're going to see that Serenata is a big 1 acre plus community, 1 to 5 acres. Berry Creek is a country club community. That's in there. And then Sun City, of course, 10,500 homes, 3 18-hole golf courses. A little further out, you've got Woodland Park. Over along 29, you've got Gabriel's Overlook. Now, you do have a master plan community here called Saddle Creek. It's one of the more affordable master plan communities, lovely amenities. So in that second ring, you have 55 plus, you have established neighborhoods like Berry Creek, you have master plan communities like Palmer Ranch, Santa Rita Ranch, Rancho Siena, and there's some smaller, not really master plan, but very nicely done recent communities like Water Oak, Oaks at San Gabriel. They don't have the amenity packages that some of the newer ones do, but they are lovely neighborhoods as well. So let's go one more level out. I'll call this the third ring, and this is outside of Ronald Reagan and outside of Highway 130 on the east side. Now, you do have this, Georgetown abuts Round Rock, Texas, just to the south, and that would be the end of the outer ring. So what do we have in the outer ring? Well, we have master plan communities because Nolina, a big new master plan community, and there's a new one coming in called Heirloom. It'll be about an 8 to 10 year development with over 2,500 homes. And of course, you have lots of wonderful 1 acre plus and small acreage properties just outside of Georgetown. Mission Oaks is right over here. Whitetail is just south of Georgetown. Regency at Santa Rita Ranch is a beautiful new 55 plus community built by Toll Brothers. It's pretty fabulous. Then you've got another premium one right here on the edge of Georgetown and Round Rock called Heritage of Vizcaya. Beautiful 55 plus community. So again, inner ring, second ring, third ring, all have all housing types. Now the prices are going to differ. How much house you can get for your money is going to differ based on if you buy a 55 plus home in Sun City versus Regency at Santa Rita Ranch. Those are different animals. But we'll talk a little more detail about that as we move along. But those are the 3 rings. Now we're going to get into a little more detail about some of the neighborhoods within those rings. Hope you're finding this informative. We're about to jump back into the map and show you specific areas and where they're located in relation to the 3 circles in Georgetown, Texas. But I just wanted to throw out a reminder, our buyer guide is below. You can download that anytime. It's got a lot of information, not as much detail as a video like this or some of the other videos I do, but it should provide you some really nice details on Georgetown, Texas that you may not already know. So this is just a reminder to download that. No hassle, no obligation. All right, let's talk about some of the communities that are within these rings. First of all, let's talk about what everyone hears about, and that's Sun City. And let's face it, there's good reason for it. It is absolutely fabulous. It's the kingpin of 55 plus communities. Everyone knows what it is. They're all over the country. This one is gorgeous. It's got 3 18-hole golf courses. It's got housing from the low to mid 200s all the way up to 900, even higher. You see people walking all over Sun City. There are parks in Sun City. You see them driving golf carts to see friends. It's really just a neat community, and it is probably about 2 years away from being finished out. So Sun City is the pinnacle of the 55 plus probably in Central Texas, but it's not for everybody. By any means. Sun City is for people who really want to be involved in things, like to be among other people. Now, that's not to say if you're kind of a loner, you can't live in Sun City. Of course you can. But why pay all the fees for all the different things that are available there? And you do have to be aware that some of the Sun City homes are starting to age. Air conditioners, roofs, things like that, you need to keep a close watch for. And the fees and the maintenance can start to add up. The people I've sold homes to in Sun City have been perfectly happy and thought it was a fantastic choice for the type of lifestyle they lead. Now, I've seen another place that people tend to look at as far as retirement, and that is a neighborhood that is quite well known, and that is Wolf Ranch. Now, Wolf Ranch is not a 55 plus designated community by any means, but it does have plenty of sections that have very small yards, easy to maintain, one-story homes. Now, it's not going to have the type of social activity that Sun City has, so if you're looking for that, it's just not going to be as available in an area like Wolf Ranch. It will also include families, where Sun City and other 55 plus communities, they won't include families, but Wolf Ranch will have families with kids of all ages. But let's face it, the homes are newer and bright and shiny, and it's very close to everything. Now, it does have a wide price range as well. It has some incredible hill country views in some sections. Now, you can buy a new home, for example, in Sun City, but you can't in some of the other 55 plus communities. You can in Regency and Santa Rita Ranch, but most of the other 55 plus communities actually have been built out. Now, Terra Vista is another one that it's very close to I-35. It's very close to hospitals. It's very close to medical, and it's located east of the interstate. And a lot of people will move in because of where their kids live. And if the kids live in Round Rock or Pflugerville or North Austin, then Terra Vista could be a really good place to go. Now, Heritage of Vizcaya is also right there by Terra Vista, and it's a beautiful 55 plus community that a lot of people aren't as aware of because it's not as large. But Terra Vista has a lovely garden home section, gated and secured. And as you can see, it's got the golf course. So Terra Vista is a great option for people who want to be very close to things that you just wouldn't be close to in the North Georgetown area. Now we're talking about neighborhoods that everyone seems to ask about, inquire about, like Sun City and Terra Vista and Wolf Ranch. And Berry Creek seems to be one of those as well. Berry Creek is a golf course, country club community. They've got a clubhouse, pool, tennis, pickleball, all of that. Now, in Berry Creek, you don't have the HOA fees, but you do have, don't let that mislead you, what's called a mandatory deed fee. Now, that acts like an HOA fee, and that's about $158 a month, and I would certainly confirm that, but it's slightly more than a neighborhood like Heritage of Vizcaya or one of the boutique 55 plus communities, which are very affordable as far as HOA fees. But Berry Creek has lots of different amenities available for use. Now, it's kind of a more quiet feel very established trees. It's popular because the homes are on larger lots than typical subdivisions like Terra Vista Wolf Ranch. The homes are on slightly more spacious lots. They're not half an acre throughout the neighborhood, although there are sections of it that are, like the Reserve, are on nearly half an acre for most of those homes. But they're on slightly bigger lots than what you find in some of the newer neighborhoods. And they have more established trees. So walking the neighborhood has a very quiet, elegant feel. And I'm going to give you one more that a lot of people ask about, and that is small acreage, big lots, privacy, buffer. And those neighborhoods are all over Georgetown, Texas, as I said, in every single ring. So there are neighborhoods that are just absolutely fantastic in this arena. So you can see how close to downtown this is. This is Oak Crest Ranchettes, very, very close in. And then we move to the next outer ring, which is the ring number 2. Serenata is a large neighborhood with 1/2 to 5 acre plots. Now, these homes are a little older, and again, being remodeled, and the remodels are getting premium prices, but they're beautifully done if they're done by a professional. You've got a lot like Twin Springs, North Lake. North Lake is not highly restricted. And then, of course, you have highly restricted 1 acre neighborhoods like Gabriel's Grove. You're not going to see a boat or an RV or a workshop, but we have the whole gamut of properties in each of those rings, even to the point of from the lowest price of that property type to the high price of that property type, which is, again, very unusual. And again, there are some hidden gems that a lot of people aren't aware of. There is Heritage Oaks, a 55 plus community of a little over 400 homes. It does have a beautiful community center. And then you've got a townhome community called Gardens at Verde Vista, which are 0 lot line homes. It's not a 55 plus community, but it's perfect for that lifestyle. And you've got a handful of those peppered throughout Georgetown, Texas. In addition to neighborhoods that aren't the huge master plan community, but they have a lovely feel. For example, Lakeside has a lovely park and have beautiful views. And then there are several neighborhoods right along Highway 29 that have been developed. They're not master plan communities, they're not huge, but they have lovely homes, amenity centers, pools, and sometimes you get a little more house for your money in a neighborhood that's not master planned and doesn't have the reputation. I hope that makes sense. So we've been over a lot, but what does it all mean for your retirement? Well, Georgetown, Texas isn't one retirement town. It's actually several. Sun City and other 55 plus communities, Wolf Ranch and other master plan communities, Berry Creek, Terra Vista, Acreage properties, the Historic District, they all offer completely different day-to-day lifestyles. The best area depends on how you want to live your retirement years, not the neighborhood name or the one that you've heard the most. Price, taxes, maintenance, they could vary more than most people expect. And the median price of $455,000 in Georgetown, Texas seems reasonable, but costs can jump fast with HOAs, mud taxes, golf memberships, and upkeep. The perfect home can become the wrong home if the long-term carrying costs don't fit your retirement budget. And remember, healthcare, access, convenience matter more than ever. Being close to medical hubs, stores that you frequent, and daily necessities become crucial during your retirement years. A beautiful home that's too far out might feel great now, but when weekly appointments become a routine, it can become wearisome. The right neighborhood protects your quality of life and your money, but in the wrong area, there's frustration, longer drives, higher expenses, maybe even weaker resale. But in the right location, easier routine, lower stress, and better long-term value for you. So let's wrap this up with a quick recap of some of these points and how I can help retirees avoid these negative issues before they ever make their move. Retiring in Georgetown isn't hard, but retiring in the wrong part of Georgetown, Texas can cost you years of frustration. Whether it's choosing a 55 plus community or one that's not 55 plus restricted, that doesn't match your lifestyle, or taking on too much maintenance, or ending up too far from healthcare and other appointments, or buying in an area that doesn't hold its value as well. Most retirees don't realize these issues until they've moved in, and then it's too late or too expensive or inconvenient to fix. You deserve a retirement home that supports your health, your budget, and the way you actually want to live every day. Again, I'm Stuart Sutton, a full-time real estate broker and Georgetown, Texas real estate specialist. I've lived here over 3 decades, helping retirees and soon-to-be retirees navigate Sun City, other 55-plus communities, acreage properties, established communities, master plan communities, and everything in between, so they can skip the surprises and move into the home that truly fits the next chapter of their life. If you're planning a move to Georgetown, Texas, or you're already searching and want an honest, personalized breakdown of which neighborhoods actually make the most sense for you, reach out using my contact information below. We'll walk through your goals, your budget, and how you want to live day to day, and build a clear plan that protects your comfort, your finances, and your long-term happiness. Whenever you're ready, I'm here to help you make your move with confidence. Remember, it's your choice, so make it a powerful day.